Hello fellow monsters, this is your editor-in-chief Aaron, and welcome to episode 1 of Monster Pickups. This is where we're going to show off what we've picked up, whether it be at flea markets or thrift stores or conventions or whatever it may be, to continue to feed our geeky hobbies as far as what we collect. If you ever read the site, you know we got a great mixture of people that like different things and collect different things. So hopefully this will be kind of like a insight into what we collect, what we look for, and just overall what our collections are like. So this past weekend, which would be August the 1st, 2015, we got a chance to go to RobCon in Bristol, Tennessee, which is held at Viking Hall, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from where I live. I'm in Southwest Virginia, and when I say we, it was myself, of course, Yeti and Josh Delp from Drawing with the Delps, one of our great supporters. So if you, I'll link his Facebook page. Him and his wife Allie does a great job. They're great artists. They do a great job as far as drawing and inking and coloring. They show kind of step by step on how they do stuff, which is really cool. So go check them out. Well, we got a chance to go down there, got a chance to hang out with some really cool people. Just kind of give you a background on RobCon. This will be a 30th edition of the convention, which is pretty cool around here. I live in a small area as far as that goes, so as far as conventions, you don't really see many conventions come through. A lot of times you'll see it, they'll be gone in 4 or 5 years. So for something like this to last for 30 years is really awesome. I haven't been in about 10 years. I was in college, or first starting out college, 04, 05, somewhere in there. And so I haven't went in a while. Just to kind of give you an example of how much it's grown, I actually had to wait in line for a ticket this year, which is really cool. It was packed, had a bunch of vendors, had a lot of really cool books there, a lot of indie publishers there. Had some stars there. They actually had Michael Myers there, the guy that played Michael Myers under the suit, which is pretty cool. Some of the people I didn't really know. Some of the people was like bit characters in Walking Dead and stuff, which is cool that, you know, they kind of brought them in, but I didn't know who they were, so I didn't really spend any money there. But it was awesome. There were some really cool cosplayers there. It was packed. It was super awesome to see so many people there that love comics and toys and just had a good time hanging out and hunt for comics and stuff that they like to collect. So before we get into the pickups, I actually took some footage there. Didn't do any interviews or anything. I just kind of wanted to enjoy the convention since I haven't been so long. But I did get some videos, and you actually see our friend Chuck, which we interviewed at the Free Comic Book Day 2015 at Cavalier Comics. He was there and apparently had a pretty good convention, so awesome for him. And you'll see a little bit of a cameo by him, and we love Chuck here, and he's a great artist, so go check his stuff out. I'll drop chucksartbox.com, but I'll drop an address in the description line for you as well. So yeah, go ahead and check out some of the footage, and I'll be right back with some pickups. Josh, where are we at right now?
We are at Bristol, Tennessee, I believe, and we're at the RobCon, getting ready to go in and have a good time.
Alright, as you see, RobCon was pretty awesome, and we had it was awesome to be there and to be able to be there with my brother and Josh, and be able to enjoy that together was pretty cool. But yeah, you saw some great cosplayers. The Anti-Monitor was pretty cool. That was probably the coolest costume that I saw. We actually saw him getting ready to go into the convention in the parking lot. I say it was in the 90s that day. It was pretty hot outside, and he was put on this big costume, you know, stepping up into the lifts or the stilts or whatever he was walking on. But yeah, it was pretty cool, man. That was probably one of the coolest costumes. But yeah, so let's get into some pickups. What did I pick up? First thing that I actually picked up was Josh actually had did some prints for me. And I hope you can see this because I don't have the greatest lighting ever, but he did some Star Wars stuff for me, and very appreciative. He actually gave me a piece of artwork. I don't want to show it here yet because I don't know how I'm going to do a contest for it, but we're going to work in conjunction and do a contest for the other piece. But we got to kind of figure how we want to do it first before I kind of show off the piece there. But the first one, both these are signed by him. The first one is Darth Vader. And this is a sketch that he did, and then got some prints, which is pretty cool. This is probably going to go to my brother-in-law. He's a big Star Wars fan, and he's on the dark side, so he's a big Darth Vader fan, obviously, just like all of us are. So this will probably go to him. But the one these were both going to go to him, but I was going to keep this one because I really like it. This is Boba Fett. Just a really cool design. I love how he colored it, as far as you know, the whites and the greens, and how they kind of pop off that black background. So very cool, Josh. I appreciate it, man. Boba's going in my room because it's pretty cool. So I got to get a frame for it to put it up. But thanks. He actually gave me these, so this is pretty cool. And like I said, I've got a piece from him that he gave to do in conjunction, maybe like a contest or something. And you'll be hearing more probably in the next couple weeks. We're trying to figure out kind of how we're going to do it there. But yeah, so that was the first thing I picked up. So I actually picked him up in the morning, gave him to me, and it was pretty awesome. So good start today. As far as comic-wise, I haven't collected single issues in a while. I've been picking up the Secret Wars stuff because I was pretty stoked about that, because I've been catching up in trade to get up to when Secret Wars started. So I've been picking that up in single issues. But really the only single issue run that I have left is Wildcats. Some people, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, especially the early 90s stuff, but it's a series that I enjoy. So I got all 50 issues in volume 1, and I'm really stoked to have those in my collection. Something that me and Travis, if you looked on the blog, he wrote a piece on Chicago. I think the second year we went, that's what I did. I hunted those issues, and I ended up getting almost all of them, and it was a couple years later that I finally completed. Jared actually got me the one issue that I was missing, which was 46, I believe, was the issue I was missing. Don't know why. There's nothing special about it. But as far as, you know, just regular, nothing really big happened in it that would make it, you know, a little bit more rare to find or uncommon. But that completed my 50 issue run. Have them over there sitting on a great little rack there. So, but I got the rest of the stuff in trade as far as what followed after volume 1, except for, I believe, volume 4. That was by Christus Gage and had some different artists on there as well. I actually got the first 2 trades, but they didn't print the rest of the run because Wildstorm kind of went away. And that's when they brought the Wildstorm universe into, I think it was the new 52, and they kind of converted everything down into one universe. Now they're not. I don't know what DC's doing anymore. But I wanted to kind of finish the story because it was a really intriguing story, and I'm a big fan of these characters. So I picked up a couple issues. Actually, I picked up issues 11 and 12 of volume 4. And I have these in trade already, so, you know, this may be a contest thing or something. But the ones that I didn't have, I actually picked up 14. Let's see, I had 13, 14, 16, and 17, as you see here. And again, you know, the Wildcats issue, when DC was still putting out the Wildstorm imprint, that I think Jim Lee, they bought it from Jim Lee, or Jim Lee is in the deal when he signed to do Batman and stuff. It was Wildstorm came with it. But I picked these up for like 50 cents an issue, so I picked up all those for like $3 or something like that, which I was pretty stoked about. But yeah, you know, one of my favorite series. Like I said, I love each and every one of these characters, and one of those things where, you know, people talk about characters in books and stuff and wanting to follow them and continue the story. This is maybe the last story you will see of Wildcats. I don't know what their plans are for them. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal anymore. You know, Jim Lee and Grant Morrison was going to do some stuff. In fact, it was supposed to be this series, and of course Morrison ended up doing something else, and so did Lee. So they did one issue. That was it. Never got anything back, and then Gage picked up, kind of did his own thing, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so I picked up those, and hopefully I can find the rest of them to kind of finish out. There's like 40 issues, so hopefully I can finish it out. So let's continue with the pickups here. I'm a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. Was one of the things, you know, I wrote in. I've said before that, you know, there's 2 big things that laid the foundation for my geekdom: Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles. And we was waiting in line, and this kid comes out. He couldn't be no more than 6 or 7 years old. Came out with a bag of old school Ninja Turtle toys, and I looked over at Josh. I said, well, that kid just came out with Ninja Turtle toys, and now I know where all my money's going. And so I did. I bought a pretty decent amount, you know, ones that I was looking for. I could have bought the whole thing and been perfectly fine, but I had a budget that I wanted to stick with. First booth I showed up, I spent a pretty good amount of money there with turtles, but I got some pretty cool stuff. Let's go over the figures first. I'll go over the one thing that I'm really stoked about having. The first thing I got is a Bebop. I don't have Bebop as far as just the regular figures. I got a lot of the villains, but I don't have this one, so I was pretty stoked. This one actually came with, as you see, the gun and the garbage can shield, which I was pretty stoked about. So I was couldn't find a Rocksteady. I don't have a Rocksteady, so I got Bebop. So I really couldn't find Rocksteady. The other turtle I picked up at that booth was Slash. This is one of my favorite characters because he was like kind of the, you know, he's a bad guy, he's a good guy, he worked with the turtles, he worked against the turtles, so pretty cool. And all these are in really good shape. They all came with their little weapons, of course. Both Bebop came with one more weapon, and then Slash came with 2 more weapons, so I got both of those. So I'm pretty stoked about that. To get him, that was the first one I picked up when I saw it because I really wanted him. The other thing that I picked up at that booth, not necessarily Ninja Turtle related, but kind of throws back into my love of vintage video games. There was a show called Bucky O'Hare. I only knew the game. I didn't know there was an anime show, and didn't know that there was a action figure line that they released. But one of my one of my good buddies at work, he sold me some turtle, basically a big thing of action figures, some older ones, and they had the Bucky O'Hare stuff. And the one I picked up, I had Deadshot Duck, I think was his name, and I've always wanted a Bucky, and I could never really find one. Well, I got a Bucky O'Hare. So as you see there, some of you may recognize him. He's got the cape and everything on it. The game was made by Konami, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's Capcom or Konami, but I think it was Konami. And the game was one of the best. It was super expensive as far as trying to find one, you know, for you know, a decent amount, you know, a decent price. But as far as the game, played a lot like Mega Man and stuff like that. So it was a very good platformer, kind of shooter platformer game. But I don't know how long the TV show lasted, but these figures are actually really well made as far as the sculpture and just everything about it. I just love how they look. Look like they pulled them right straight out from the cartoon in the game. Like I said, I didn't watch the cartoon. I watched clips on YouTube, and you know, perfect rendition of it. So as you see, it came with 2 guns, and you know, pretty much complete from what I understand. So pretty stoked to get him. And I'll go ahead and I actually picked him up. Actually, no, let me go ahead and show you the big thing here. This is all from one booth, so I'm going to try to pick up like the booth that I can remember I picked him up at. This first booth I came up at a couple weeks ago. I saw a Turtles collector's case. In fact, it was this one, as you can see there. And it was in terrible shape, but it wasn't in the greatest of shape. The biggest thing was it had rust stains on it on here. This was pretty much almost rusted out. Had some nicks and cuts. I don't even think it had to carry anything with it. But I had this when I was a kid, and I've always kind of wanted one, but I could never find one for a good price. They had it for $25. And so I walked up to this booth, and there it was, and I thought for sure that it was going to be like $30, $40. First days of conventions are kind of like that. If you've ever been to a convention, you see prices, they really don't work them down to the last day because they don't want to pack everything up and leave. You know, and have to pack everything up, leave, and then unpack it when they get home. So a lot of times you can find some pretty good deals. This one I was shocked to find was $10, and it is in such good shape. You know, the tab, you know, the latch here, you know, perfectly. No rust or anything like that. The back looks great. It actually has the carrying strap there, handle. I was so excited to get this for $10. And you know, the figures weren't bad. You know, it's always good to go through a convention and to see that everyone had them more than what that first booth did. So I really didn't miss anything out as far as I want to wait and come back and see what other prices I can find. Actually found some pretty cool prices right at that first booth, so I was really stoked. But this was probably my second favorite pickup. The other one I'll show you here in a minute, but in fact probably next I'll show you. But this was pretty awesome for $10. So this is probably my favorite pickup. Actually, let me show you the last turtle that I got here. I have a Casey Joe. Whoops, Sorry. I have a Casey Jones, but I don't have a, I didn't have the bag or any of the weapons for him. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping that there would be some people that just had like bags of weapons for characters, because I have a lot of these characters, I just don't have the weapons for them. But I picked this up, picked this guy up for $7. Guy had a 9, so I kind of talked him down just a little bit. This Casey Jones figure, again from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle lines. Casey's one of my favorite characters, just like, everybody should like Casey Jones. But this one actually comes with the golf club. You can see that as well, and of course the bag that he has, the golf bag. So obviously that's not every one of his weapons that he has, but it's a good start. Maybe I can find the rest of the weapons later on. So I actually got a loose Casey Jones, like I said, I had him before, so it may be something we give away here on the side just for a little bit of a giveaway. But yeah, pretty cool to add a little bit more of a complete Casey Jones to my collection. The last thing that I have is, I believe it's the last thing, it is. This is something that I saw, I think it was on Comic Book Resources when it was released, and I'm a big fan of the Batman NES game. It's really awesome. It's really hard, just like any other NES game. But for the longest time, that was the best Batman game we had, way back in the 8-bit era, until the Arkham Asylum and the Arkham City games started coming out. But this one they released, they actually did one for Jason too, and they actually did one for the Predator as well. But they did these 8-bit versions of them, which if you ever played the Batman game, he's basically blue. I mean, there's no like any description, not very well as far as graphically, but just kind of a blue kind of guy. You can tell he's Batman, but he's blue. And the company NECA actually did some figures for those. So Jason, Predator, and Batman, I think there was maybe one more. And basically they made a figure and made them in that shade of blue, like that 8-bit blue. So guy had one for $25, ended up, the box is in decent shape. After looking at it, it was a little bit of a rough shape, but nothing totally, there's no tears or anything in it or anything like that, just a little couple nicks. But so I picked up the version of the version of that. And there's the figure there, if you can see it. And as you can see, he's blue. He's got all the weapons over here as well, also in blue, and how they looked in the game as well. So I was pretty stoked to get that. See over here, this is an actual screenshot of the game there that they put in on the inside of the box. So this basically kind of follows the movie as far as the Batman movie. I'm sure they deviate ever so often, but it's a great box. It's actually kind of an homage to the box, the Nintendo game box, which is pretty cool. But again, pretty cool. I was pretty stoked to get this. This was pretty expensive when it first came out. I think a lot of these were actually. I know the Freddy one was, I think, like a San Diego exclusive or something, or they released it first at San Diego, so the price had to come down. But I got this for about $20. I saw one for $40. So again, first booth I came up in, last one, he gave me a deal on it, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So I was pretty stoked. Again, box is in pretty good shape. There's a couple of nicks there, here and there, but yeah, it's a great little pickup. Probably my favorite pickup that I had, because I think it's pretty cool that they did some figures that way. But yeah, that's it. So RobCon 2015 in the books, and we got some really cool stuff from it. And maybe some of the other guys will show some of their stuff as well. But yeah, I was really stoked to get that turtle carrying case, and also the Batman figure, and of course with the other stuff I've got. But those two items were something that I really was stoked to find at such a good price, because I found them so much more than what I paid for them. So I'm always good getting cool stuff at good prices. So but yeah, hopefully we'll see more of these. I've got some I picked up some great games lately, but I wanted to do one just for RobCon because we had such a good time there. Go check it out. It's robcon.net. Or if you go into Google and just type in RobCon 2015, it'll actually pop up their main website and their Facebook page. So go check them out. This is a growing thing, and when we walked out of there, we thought they're going to have to find a bigger spot, and because it was a really awesome con with some really cool stuff. So, but yeah, don't forget to check out the blog monstersofgeek.wordpress.com. Go check them out, and check out all my cool friends that puts their stuff up on the site, and it's really awesome that I have such awesome friends and talented friends that post some pretty cool stuff. So I'm sure there's something for everybody there. So go check it out. And that's it. That's it for the first episode of Monster Pickup. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And yeah, share the video for us if you don't mind too. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and don't forget to check out the blog. Hey, Anti-Monitor, what website do you read?
The Monsters of Geek, because it destroys worlds.